Hi, and welcome to Marsha's Mush and Stuff, where I do DIYs, Dollar Tree hauls, and so much more. If that's your cup of tea, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and give the video a thumbs up. And today, my friends, we are going to be crafting. Yes, that is right. Today is an open invite with my friend Zaina from OK at Home DIY. So the challenge is hashtag what would you make using wood to create DIYs. So with all that said, let's get the wood out, get the glue guns heated up, and let's start to craft and see what would you make. And thank you to the host Zaina, who will be listed in my description box, as well as myself, the co-host, and the playlist where you'll find tons of other inspiration, my friends. So don't forget to check out the description box linked below. And until the next time, I'll see you then. Hi, and welcome to Marsha's Mush and Stuff. If you like easy DIYs on a budget, definitely hit that subscribe button. And today I'm participating with my friend Zaina from OK at Home DIY in the What Would You Make challenge. And here are some of the crafts that she has recently done, or DIYs, using 3 different plates to make this twine plate. This is absolutely stunning. This is 2 of my favorite DIYs that she has done. She even participated in the Here's Your Crown challenge, and my sweet friend that I'm so blessed to know personally gave me a crown and recreated my lantern. I love this shelf that she made using embroidery hoops. And look at that. Theirs versus hers, $50 compared to $0. I'll take hers, and it looks absolutely stunning. She's so creative, and she will be linked in the description box as she is the host today, myself as the co-host, and all the other creators in the playlist will be linked in the description box. So using this Decor Art and the off-white chalk paint, we're going to go ahead and use one of the Dollar Tree canvas frames, remove the canvas, and then we're also going to use some apple barrel paint and the color chestnut for a dry brush technique. Now I just go over this one time. It gets good coverage, so there was no reason to go over it twice, and also I'm going to distress it and weather it, so no reason to use extra paint if you don't need to. So I go ahead and get it painted all the nooks and crannies, front and back. I even took it into the bathroom to dry it with my hair dryer, and I take out the apple barrel paint and just put a little bit in the lid. And then using this brush from the Dollar Tree, I think you get 3 for $1. They work excellent for dry brush technique. You want to take most of the paint off using a paper towel and just go around it and give it a weathered, aged look. And so that's what I'm showing you here. So I actually even go back. See, that's what it looks like right now. And excuse my hands because, yes, I've been crafting. So we're going to go in all those nooks and crannies and dry brush as well. I'm even going to pick up a little more paint off of the paper towel. I'm not going to re-dip it. I'm just going to pull up some extra paint for a little more dry brush technique. But then I'm going to get out my handy dandy sanding sponge, and I'm going to blend all that. I think it just gives it a more cohesive look, and it blends it, and it just looks more natural, more naturally aged and weathered versus it looking like I dry brushed it purposely. So everything gets nice and blended this way. I think that's one of my favorite tools in my craft stash is my sanding sponge. I don't know what I would do without these things. I didn't have a staple remover at the time, so that's why I'm struggling with a little bit there. And some of these frames, when you remove the canvas, are a little yellow. So keep that in mind too when you're making these, that not all of them are white. But using this grill topper from the Dollar General for $1, I'm just going to cut it, and then I'm going to glue that frame to that faux chicken wire or the grill topper. And the reason I'm doing this is just to make it a little bit easier for myself to be able to see where I do need to cut versus just winging it. So what I do is make sure that everything is adhered nicely, because you're only working with a little border there. So be careful, use your finger protectors, because metal and glue, definitely a hot combination there. So then we're going to go back with these very old scissors, and we're going to cut it off and cut any excess off as well. And there you go. And so now I had a few different options, but I decided to use this yardstick that I got from the Dollar General for $1. And if you notice, there's a little hanger on top. There's also those little clamps right there. That's how I remove the rod. Kept that rod for another DIY, because nothing goes to waste around here, my friend. And this says, a chick rules this roost, and she certainly does. And because this is not flat, you do have to make sure that everything is attached and is nice and adhered and going to stay in place and not fall apart, because I want this to last for a very long time. I love what it says, and it truly does fit my home. So I go in and even pressing on the wire just to make sure that everything is glued down nice and secure, and that it's not going to go anywhere. Pick up one of her little feet there and glue that back down. And again, it's not going anywhere. But another thing that I did was, once I had everything on there, just to make sure it doesn't scratch any surface like the wall that you're going to be putting it on, any excess that was slightly hanging over, you couldn't even see it, but I just bent it over because it was a bit pokey. I bent all that over and applied any glue where it was necessary. So that's what I'm showing you here. And what a great idea to make your own chicken wire using these grill toppers. Couldn't find them at the Dollar Tree, so went to the Dollar General. Also, that little hook that you could hang this with, I threaded it through the faux chicken wire, and there you see it at the top, so I can hang it on my wall, which is where it currently is. And that's what it looks like, my friends. And I do think the sanding makes it look better than just dry brushing it alone. But let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. What do you think? And moving on to DIY number 2, using these Scrabble tiles that I ordered from Amazon. I also ordered the stencils from Amazon too. Now, quick note to self, do not use glue on paper, because the glue will the project will get stuck to the paper. So I used the super glue, wood glue, again, tool bench section at the Dollar Tree, mapped out what I wanted to spell, and glued that down. And some of that paper did get stuck to the back of these Scrabble tiles. So you notice the paper's not there anymore, just the vinyl cutting mats. So here I'm applying the wood tint, also from Amazon as well. It's not a stain, it's just a tint, but I am baffled. I'm like, why is it not covering in certain spots? And when I took my baby wipe, it was like it didn't cover at all, just slightly. And I quickly figured out why. That's where the wood glue is. Everywhere that the wood glue was attached, that's where it didn't cover. So I went back with the sponge and I literally dabbed it, like a pouncing motion, dabbed it on. And I had to do that a couple times before I figured out what was truly going on. So that's what I'm showing you here, and that's the back. That's where the paper got stuck. Even sanding did not work. But here is the finished project after I got the stain to stay. And we're going to spell home and love with the heart as the O. And look how cute that is. I wish I had taped these down because I would have got more crisp lines. But I think just for holding it in place and using this sponge, a dabbing sponge, and I think these are made for stencils anyway, but you quickly remove that and look how nice and crisp some of those turned out. The 4 on the H could have been a little better. And then I took the picture hanger and E6000 and glued that on. Now I eyeballed that and I was a little off on that. So I had to go back and re-glue it so that it would hang straight. Because it's a little teeny tiny crooked right there. But that's how it turned out. And I do absolutely love this one. And again, would love to hear your thoughts and comments. Let me know what you think and which one is your favorite. And moving on to DIY number 3. Using these boxes that come from the Dollar Tree. Sorry, 1 second. That's where it was a bit crooked. And then I straightened it up a little bit. But I finally got it nice and straight. So moving on to DIY, using 4 of these boxes with the clover on it. Now, if you do this DIY, make sure that you keep the boxes together because that way they will slide in and out. Using the wood tint again, we're just going to apply it to all the boxes. And then once they're all covered, we're going to go back in with the baby wipe and remove that, and it just gives a natural wood grain effect. The more you wipe, the more natural grain effect it gives, and I absolutely love that. And the inside of the boxes, I actually let sit a lot longer. See, look at that natural wood grain that it gave. And so that's what I'm showing you here. I went through a lot of baby wipes, but I absolutely love it. If I had to tell you what my home decor is like, it is a little rustic and a little farmhouse. So Rustic Farmhouse, new name. Maybe that's already a name. I don't know. But if you do this DIY, make sure that you pick up all the boxes with the same shape on it. I just think it makes a difference. But I'm going to keep adding to this, so I picked up 2 more clover boxes. And what I did here was I glued on, that's what I'm showing you, I glued one to the other in sets of 2s with the super glue wood glue. And then I put the other 2 on top, and that's how they slide in and out, with the clover facing backwards. Now we need to make some drawer pulls. And I love how it outlined where I let it sit longer on the inside. It really did just give this dramatic rustic look that I absolutely love. And using, again, the wood glue, applied these beads that I got from Amazon in the largest size I had. And this is how I staged it. I just pulled that greenery right off the stem and just placed it down in the boxes here and there. And that's what it looks like, you guys. And I am in love with this one. And like I said, I'm going to use this for crafting supplies. So I'm going to keep adding on to it. But if you like easy DIYs on a budget, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to give a thumbs up. And check out the description box for more inspiration. Until the next time, I'll see you then.